Gamer Anks, forgot how to say it. Could this new game compete with GTA 6's and Vice City? We'll see. You guys can hear it. Sorry. There you go.
Newest kid on the block is MindsEye. This game has made attention. It was previously revealed last year with a big flashy trailer, but it just recently got a big new trailer.
Welcome to Red Rock.
With a lot more eyeballs on it, a lot more speculation, and a lot more people comparing it to something like Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, while on the surface, yes, MindsEye is very much like driving around, shooting people in a big sunny city with flashy graphics, you can easily compare it to Grand Theft Auto 6. You can look at this city that they've established here called Red Rock in the newest trailer and compare
I think I've seen some stuff in this like a while ago.
City of GTA 6. But it seems like they're very different types of games, with MindsEye less focused on the open world
MindsEye looks more like
and more on just telling a cohesive, thrilling, single-player, third-person shooter adventure story. Now, look, we've grown very skeptical of flashy, glitzy trailers in the past.
This is Red Rock?
About it quite a bit. We've taken apart some games bit by bit. But MindsEye is interesting because while I said it might not be a direct comparison to something like Grand Theft Auto 6 as much as people might want, there is a little more DNA in there worth discussing, as well as just the whole thing. So today we just wanted to chat about MindsEye because the newest trailer is really cool.
Yeah, not bad, huh?
And ask the question that a lot of people are saying out there. Yes, could this maybe open world adventure game compete with GTA 6? The reality is twofold. Number one, it might be more faux open.
I don't think there's anything that would compete with GTA 6, I'm gonna be honest. Like anything that tried to compete with GTA, you know, Saints Row, Watch Dogs, none of them could. And they're both great games, of course, in their own thing. Watch Dogs is different than Saints Row, of course, it's different from GTA. This game is pretty much the same as that. You know, it's the same, but also different, in a sense. But saying a game would compete with GTA 6, a game that's insanely highly anticipated and will blow GTA 5 out of the waters, highly doubt that. You know, highly doubt that. Like, there's games out that's like open world and stuff that wouldn't even be able to compete with GTA 5, right? And that game's hella old, so it's kind of hard to compare games to GTA 6, especially when it's not even out yet, and there's literally is no gameplay of it, no gameplay, just a one little trailer in all these years, and that's it.
Open world, something like a Mafia, where the city is
set
dressing.
Fuck yeah, Mafia 2. I fucking love Mafia. It's such a great game. I played them a couple times. I don't know, I just love the whole Mafia thing. It's great.
Something to pass through, something to be immersed in more than...
But yeah, I wish it was more open worldy, you know? Mafia, at least, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you can drive around in this whole city or whatever, it looks amazing. But really wasn't much to do. But it's still a fucking fantastic game. I love Mafia.
Spend hundreds of hours doing side activities, but also, secondly, they are trying to do something different here, and that's where the conversation is interesting. This is from a new game studio.
I forgot to say Cyberpunk too. That's also another competitor, quote unquote competitor. I fucking loved Cyberpunk. I know a lot of people didn't. I don't know why. Everyone says like glitching and stuff. I've never ran into a single glitch. Besides once. Sorry, my bad. There was one glitch, and that was only because my bike got glitched into the ground. That was it. You know, that was literally the only glitch I've ever had in the entire Cyberpunk game. You know, I completed it and everything. Not a single glitch besides that. And that's like a common, you know, clipping glitch that happens in every game, I feel. So it's not like a crazy thing. But yeah, I loved Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is a very, very fun game. If you didn't play it, I do recommend it. Especially with the new DLC thing out. I didn't play the new DLC expansion pack, but I did watch someone play it. Looked fucking amazing. So
called Build a Rocket Boy.
I think that was kind of probably the closest game to a GTA.
You know, really plugging
competitor
away for a while. This studio is founded by a longtime Rockstar Games guy, Leslie Benzies. He was with Rockstar up to 2016, and he was like a head honcho. He was the president of Rockstar North, so he had his hands in a lot of games that you probably really enjoy. And here, he's directing, he's
Wow.
founding up this new studio. So MindsEye, this game is actually built
Mind's
inside
Eye.
this studio's other bigger project. This bigger project is called Everywhere. This is
The
what
fuck
was
is that?
initially announced.
That's a
years
that's a
ago.
completely
This was
different
the thing
game.
that kind of had this weird kind of whisper hype to it, like, oh, Rockstar guy is making this
Wow.
game called Everywhere. That just, you know, obviously leads your mind
looks
to
like
go in a
shit.
million places. So this project now,
I mean, I guess that's the art style, but I personally don't really like that kind of art style. This makes it look cheapy, free, you know, shit. But how do you go from like this game to the other game? That's
that just,
completely
you know,
different.
obviously leads your mind to go in a million places. So this project now, Everywhere, as it's shaking out, is kind of like this big, massively multiplayer thing, kind of like a platform. It's kind of been billed as almost like a Roblox style platform, but for adult gamers, you know, at least
I
according
see.
to the developers. So MindsEye, this game is
That's not
actually
gonna work
built
out.
in Everywhere, like in that project. So MindsEye might apparently meant to be kind of like a proof of
Wait, what?
concept.
This game's in like a Roblox kind of thing. What? What?
Developers. So MindsEye, this game is actually built in Everywhere, like in that project. So MindsEye might apparently meant to be kind of like a proof of concept to show off the potential of
So I think that the two different games, they just use the basic building blocks that they had for the Everywhere game. You know, it's like making a Roblox or using Roblox world creator stuff and making the game in there, and then like pushing it out onto something else. I'm guessing that's, you know, how it is, which is insane. Like all of this in like its own Roblox kind of building thingy majiggy, you know? That's crazy.
Everywhere rather than its own fully standalone game. Interestingly enough, though, the developers haven't mentioned Everywhere lately. Like, it's kind of detached from the marketing of this game. So maybe MindsEye really is its own standalone thing, unrelated to that project, or maybe not. It's hard to tell. But the way it seems like it's going to shake out is that, you know, eventually Everywhere is going to be this big, ambitious
That's so
platform thing, this meta live service,
That's
I don't know,
Lego.
whatever thing. Where MindsEye, this thing here, is a full-priced regular old game. It's going to be a $60 US game, and it's releasing this June. Again, it's worth pointing out,
June,
contrary to
wow.
popular belief, it seems like MindsEye is not this complete open world game. It's a cinematic, story-driven action-adventure game. It's apparently pretty linear, and you're mostly meant to follow this handcrafted, high-quality story, getting into shootouts, using drones and driving cars and cool action sequences and chase sequences. So
looks great, though.
honestly, we'd say right now, from everything we've heard and the trailers, it looks like something closer to a sci-fi Uncharted rather than a GTA. So while MindsEye might not be an open world game, the city it's set in, Red Rock, it could be.
That's
This is
Cyberpunk.
what's kind of mind-boggling about this whole thing, right? Like, the game's assets, the whole city and stuff, apparently are going to be made available for players to access in that Everywhere game I mentioned, where they can use them to make their own game modes. Possibly. I mean, like, that's what they said a few years back, at least. So again, we may be reading in between the lines a little bit, and this is speculation on our part, but it seems like, for comparison's sake, MindsEye is like the AAA version of a Roblox game, or a game built in Roblox, with Everywhere, like, being the actual Roblox where it's
Kind of
built.
like a Fortnite kind of thing too, if you think about it, because Fortnite is in my opinion, it's a bigger, or well, not yet, but I know they're gonna implement that whole better building aspect to what the fuck, not Minecraft, to Fortnite, because I remember them showcasing something in space and it looked crazy. So I'm guessing that's kind of what this is. They're Everywhere project stuff. That's what I'm thinking.
It is a crazy ambitious concept, and you know, it's not just some flight of fancy here. The original trailer for MindsEye was
But the basic Everywhere game looks shitty. I'm gonna be honest. It looks like shit.
shown in a theater in the entertainment district inside Everywhere. So while MindsEye isn't going to be a GTA 6 competitor, Everywhere, I guess, could technically give GTA Online a run for its money. Maybe, possibly,
No,
in terms of like
definitely not.
player freedom and creativity and stuff,
Completely
but with a
different.
similar vibe. Who knows? The success or failure of this project
Completely
might just
different
rest
games.
on whether or not it's able to attract a community of creators who are actually willing to jump into this thing, fall in love with it, and make things within it. Everywhere has been built from the Unreal Engine, so it should ideally be pretty user-friendly for modding and creation, and that's not even counting like the tools that these developers provide. And look, we're still skeptical. You know, we don't judge a game until we actually get our hands on it. We don't want to get too hyped, but like the city that we have seen in MindsEye is awesome looking. It looks like a more down-to-earth version of Night City, you know, very obviously sci-fi, but much more closer to modern Los Angeles in appearance than like, you know, the more far-flung Night City. But the city itself does look like there is potential for just some open world stuff. It seems like it's begging for that chaos. And I think that's why some people saw these trailers and immediately assumed big open world action game.
Yeah, that's
like
what it
we
gives,
said before,
definitely.
with the assets of the game potentially being available in everything, that is still essentially possible. It just would be up to the community to build something like that. Again, that's if it happens. This is something that developers talked about back in 2023 and have been, you know, kind of quiet about it since. Look, we're just struggling to wrap our heads around the idea. Like, yes, the studio has that Rockstar name value behind it and a lot of combined experience. It seems like a powerful team. But trying to take on something like Roblox and Fortnite at their own game and doing things kind of different is definitely a tall order. It's not gonna be easy, especially with MindsEye as their marquee game. Because look, for all we know, the game could be great, but the trailers also kind of give off that kind of direct to streaming movie energy, like a big budget, crazy Netflix movie. You hear about it costing $1 billion to make. It looks incredible, but ultimately it comes out and it's kind of forgettable. Case in point, something like the
like it looks good, but the gameplay could be very shitty and wonky. Like, how do I put it? It's like expecting GTA and getting like Watch Dogs or Saints Row kind of gameplay, you know, like mechanics and stuff.
It's incredible, but ultimately it comes out and it's kind of forgettable. Case in point,
something like expecting the GTA driving and getting Cyberpunk. It's completely different.
It looks incredible, but ultimately it comes out and it's kind of forgettable.
It looks like Cyberpunk
something like
driving,
The Gray Man or the most recent Electric State starring Chris Pratt. To be fair though, it also just has a lot going for it. I mean, other than the fact that it looks really good, it looks like the main character is the guy who played Lincoln Clay from Mafia 3. That was a really cool character, a really good performance, so it's great to see him return here. And like I mentioned earlier, the developers are saying the right things. In a Eurogamer interview, the developer revealed that the game's going to be about 15 hours long, and they're really just aiming for a quote-unquote meaningful and well-crafted game story adventure.
That's good.
Generic on the surface, yes, but there might be potential for more. Look, maybe that's uncharitable, but it's important to put things in perspective, right? There's more than just them putting out a game, selling it, making money, and that's it. The developers have done a lot of interviews, and especially recently, just talking about a good, high-quality, 15-hour handcrafted experience that somebody can play through and enjoy after work, that feels like it tells a good story and doesn't waste their time. That's exactly what I want to hear. That's like what the doctor ordered for me personally, dude. But again, there is other stuff behind this game, the whole everything thing and all the question marks there. The goal behind MindsEye might really just be...
In my opinion, I wouldn't think too much about the whole everywhere thing, because they're two separate games, you know? Two separate games. Sure, they like use the building mechanics in that game, but there's still two completely separate games, you know?
To help sell the platform that they've spent years building. At this point, it's really hard to say whether the whole endeavor will succeed or if it'll crash and burn. And it could be years before people start doing anything significant with it if it does take off. I mean, it took Roblox a pretty long time to build up the audience it has now.
I was just playing that game.
It took Roblox a pretty long time to build up.
Yeah, I was just playing that game.
The audience
that game's okay. That one's okay.
As now, you know, for perspective, Roblox came out in 2006, and that feels like an eternity in the games industry world. What we're saying is that this everything game doesn't need to be a massive success right out of the gate to eventually become profitable and cool and, you know, something.
But the everywhere, I'm gonna be honest, it looks bad, but it doesn't look that bad, you know? Like the whole atmosphere and everything you can make. Like once you get in the game, the whole lighting, texturing, and stuff just looks way better. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I know I'm showing a lot of hate for the everywhere thing, but it does have a lot of potential, like Roblox did, and of course it still has. But it looks good. sometimes. It really depends on the world and how they make it though.
Success right out of the gate to eventually become profitable and cool.
And look at
and,
that.
You know,
That looks
something
nice.
players flock to, but we hope that's something that they're accounting for. There's real potential here to make something really cool because it all.
I think it's just like some of the worlds that they're showing what didn't look good. Like this one looks good, this one looks good, but this one, you know, with those kind of characters, they don't kind of match in this aspect of it or little world that they built. But the other two looked pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, they look pretty good. The water looks pretty nice. I don't know. I'm one for lighting. That's why I like lighting and atmosphere kind of stuff. And this kind of made me look like, or it made me see how good it could be. Of course, it's not like the full potential of it, but it looks pretty good. I like it so far, I guess.
There's real potential here to make something really cool because it all could be like GTA Online on creative steroids with tons of game modes and options and weird things for you to mess around.
Yeah, I don't know why you're still comparing it to GTA 6. This, like the everywhere thing, that's not GTA, like at all. It's nothing to do with GTA. It's just, it's Roblox with those weird humanoid characters that people use. It's pretty much that. That's literally it. It's that with the whole Fortnite building stuff.
With just look at the kinds of crazy stuff people have managed with GTA Online roleplay. They managed to include all these custom gameplay and scripts into the notoriously difficult to mod GTA 5
but it's still
engine.
different.
So just think about what these people could do with the same kinds of assets, but in something a little bit more built to have stuff put into it. Roblox, of course, has a history with like creators, and it's not great if you want to look into it. So if it does go this route, we're hoping everything creates a system that's, you know, more equitable to the creators that the game essentially is eventually going to rely on. And again, we're really in a big realm of speculation.
I didn't think about that. The whole make your own world and no buying thing. Like Roblox creators, they make stuff to also make money, and they make a shit ton of money. I'm not gonna lie. They make a shit ton, but it's gonna be weird hopping into one of these anywhere games and getting like fucking paid walls everywhere, you know?
Here, I want to put that up front again because they haven't said a ton and we don't know exactly what everything's business model is actually going to be. Who knows? It could be great. It's just that when a developer starts comparing what they're doing to just live service stuff or creator platforms or Roblox, then our skeptical alarm bells start going off. Yeah. It's not like they haven't already had a few red flags. 2022 might as well be an eternity ago. It feels far off now, but back then, the Everywhere developers were hiring for NFT and blockchain related positions. People accused the game of being a secret NFT game, and the studio, Build a Rocket Boy, came out and clarified that they were just hiring for research positions, as in they were just looking into potential applications of the technology. Now in 2025, this all sounds like a non-issue because the entire NFT thing kind of came and went for most people, but you never know. With Ubisoft still trying to ride that train, I guess it is possible that they could completely fail to read the room and release Everywhere with NFTs. Anything is possible at this point, crazy. But I do think some of that stuff is unlikely. Still, the crazy thing about all this, we honestly don't even know if everything is the focus anymore or how much MindsEye is really even.
I thought it was called Everywhere, but it's called anything? Or is that the company? I don't know.
Been tied into it now. The entire situation surrounding the game is pretty vague. It seems like everything is still happening, or at least I think so. Is MindsEye really a part of the whole thing? It's very difficult to figure out just what direction the studio is really going, which makes it really hard to say just how much of a competitor this game or games or whatever it's going to end up being will be with something like Grand Theft Auto 6. Yes, they're both flashy and cool and glitzy. They both involve good graphics and sunshine and driving fast cars and shooting dudes, but that's really where it all ends. And where it ends, of course, is like the front cover of the book. Once you open the book and look into the whole MindsEye thing, it's just like a little bit more murky. Again, it's a crazy idea. As much as we're skeptical, we also think there's potential for it to be something cool, even if we don't know exactly what. So if you want to read up more on this stuff, all the sources and everything we talk about are linked in the description down below. Really, nothing is certain in the video game industry right now. You don't know what's going to pop off. You don't know what's going to flop. The only thing that is certain is that Grand Theft Auto 6 is probably going to make crazy money and a whole lot of people are going to play it.
Oh,
but
yeah,
all
definitely.
That weird stuff aside that we dived into, it just seems like MindsEye is a game releasing in June for like $60. It's like 20 hours and you play it and you have a good time. We'll play that, we'll get our hands on that and judge it for ourselves before we start to speculate any more about what's next afterwards with Everywhere.
Why does that
or
PS5 look so
Everything or
huge?
Whatever. But that was a lot of talk about something very weird and specific. So like I said, let us know what you think in the comments. A lot
more
of this is
gameplay, but-
speculation, so we want to know if you have any theories as well, and just what you think of Everywhere as a big conceptual project, but also drill down into MindsEye.
It is
Do you think
everywhere.
it looks like a cool game? I think it does, personally, because I like games where you're just a cool guy driving in a car shooting stuff. My brain is very simple, and that is also the point. Like, I am not an expert, so let us know what you think about this stuff. And again, all the sources are linked in the description down below, but if you like talking games with us every single day, clicking the like button's all you gotta
That's
do.
fire. That's actually crazy. I mean, I don't know how I feel about the whole Everywhere game. It has potential in it, of course. Any world building community thing has a lot of potential. But the actual, like, what is this called? Holy fuck. MindsEye. There you go. MindsEye. I'm sure it's gonna be very good. I'm sure it's gonna be a very good game. But relating it to GTA 6 though, I'm gonna have to say no. But yeah, good video, man. Gamer Anks, could this new game compete with GTA 6's Vice City? Great video.